Okay, we'll go to Lofter. Always an interesting conversation.
Hello.
Hi.
I have three things: some good news, some bad news, and a question.
Okay.
And I'll start with the good news. The good news is that when you talk about the self, I finally know what you mean.
Yes, always good news.
This word used to annoy me so much.
Yeah. You know, we used to listen to teachers and they say it's all around you right now. And you're like, where? You know. Sorry, carry on.
So that's the good news, and it's nice. It's really nice to when I'm meditating, for example, then I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a nice place to stay in.
Good.
So that's the good news. The bad news is that it's still something different from me. Yeah, there's me, and there's the self there which I'm bathing in, or so to speak.
Yeah.
No. And so my question is, it's a nonsensical question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because this is how I feel. How to be the self? Or when will I be the self?
So let's start from what you said there. There's me and it, right? There seems to be a me and the self, and I can be in it, merge with it, join with it for a certain amount of time, and then I'm kicked back out again, right? And there's definitely two of us. There's two of us here, shared occupancy of this body. So what evidence do you have that there's a you and it? What can you tell me? Why are you convinced that there's a you and it? It feels like there's a you and it, you and the self. I know it's a really strange question, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Can you ask it again?
Yeah.
Please?
So there seems to be you, the separate being, and there seems to be the great self, right? How are you, and why are you so convinced that the separate someone is here? Does that hit you better, or I can go a different way?
Yeah. It's because of the sensations in my body. I think it's like because I can feel my body, then that means I'm here and the self is out there somehow. I think that's what it is.
So where is the separate me then?
In those sensations.
Just the sensations? Let's really look at it, because if we just assume it's here, then it takes on a life that it doesn't really have. It runs on belief power. So let's really look. Where is that someone that's trying to merge into the self? Can you pin it down?
Well, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's right there, just out of reach somehow. Just
out of reach. Really look at that. Like, is it actually out of reach? Can you actually find it? This is so important. This is like the most important thing we could be doing right now in this moment. Can you actually find it?
No, but it seems to be there.
Seems to be. What is it that gives you, what is it that makes you say it seems to be there? Is it a feeling? Is it sensations? Is it, why are you saying it seems to be there? What's the evidence?
It's a feeling.
A feeling, yeah.
Yes.
So there seems to be someone here. And the self, it seems to be. But when we actually look, there isn't. Can't find it. Let's look again, you and me. Can you actually find this seeming someone?
No.
So there isn't actually a separate being, but there seems to be. So if we come to see clear enough, and again and again and again, that you cannot actually find the someone when you actually look, that it only seems to be here, then the seemingness of it will still remain. For me right now, having this conversation, it still seems like there's someone here that has not gone. It goes when the body goes, right? It's a function of the senses perceiving, mind thinking, sensations in the body. All of that comes together, a sense of experiencing. It gives the sense that someone's here, but there isn't actually anyone living in this body. There's only the infinite self. So when you really get this, you don't push against the seems to be. You don't try to make that go away. It's like a shadow. You can't make the shadow go away, can you? It's going to follow you everywhere you go. All you can do is come to see there isn't actually two of me. There's only the self. When I actually look experientially, directly, like we just did, can't actually find that someone. There's someone that seems to say, yeah, but there's me and it. Does it actually exist, that someone?
Well, I have looked for it and I haven't found it, but I have this very strong belief that it must be there. It has to be.
And that strong belief that it has to be there is what makes it seem so real, because you are the infinitely powerful self. Anything that you give your allegiance to, you're going to experience. It's really strong. You make this whole 3-dimensional hallucination happen. Real time, 24/7. I really feel like a someone. And then we really experience that as if it's true. And even I spent the best part of 3 years trying to get rid of this separate someone or make it merge into the self. And I finally realized you can't make it go away when it's not actually there. It just seems to be. Perhaps all this effort to try to make it go away is actually what makes it seem real. So if I know deep enough, if that's gone deep enough, that there isn't actually someone here, then this seems to be of it won't affect me, won't trouble me. And maybe it's even a good thing that this seems to be. It's like a software program for the body, helps the body do what it needs to do. Like a software program for your computer. Not actually a real thing, just a useful program made of thoughts and emotions and sense perception and sensations. Look with me again now. Can you find someone that needs to merge into the self?
No, I don't even know where to look for it.
Search your body, search your being, search your mind, search your emotions, wherever you want to look. Search everywhere. Let's search everywhere. Can you find someone, a separate being, separate to everyone else around? Something is here that is you, but is it a separate someone? If you and I were sat together in that room there, and we were 6 feet apart, would there be a division 3 feet halfway across the room where you stop and I start?
Well, if you put it this way, then of course not.
But even if we were sat there together, 2 bodies in that same room, it might still seem like there's 2 of us in that room. It may always seem like there's 2 of us in that room. Does that have to get in the way of this deepening that's going on? It's confirming, experiencing directly, I cannot find this someone that I'm so desperately trying to get rid of. I cannot find it. Is it just gone when you look, or has it ever been here? Does the separate someone run away? Oh God, he's going to do self-inquiry. Quick, let's leg it, And then after you finish Satsang, he comes running back, Well, that was a close one.
I think I've always just assumed it was there. And
Yeah.
I guess there's this assumption that's I don't even know why I assume it.
Because everyone else says, right? It's just taken for granted. Everyone's walking around talking to somebody. And we all talk to each other as if we're somebody. And the whole thing runs on assumption. You are so powerful as the infinite self that anything you assume to be true, for so long, it seems so real that we don't even feel, we feel, for a long time, if I'd said, look and see if there's actually someone there, you'd be like, are you crazy? It's only when that assumption becomes so out of control, it's taken on a life of its own, and it's got all of these problems that we can never fix. That's the only time we'll start to even doubt the existence of it. And it was such a shock to me to find out it's not actually there. Like the whole main character of my life and my awakening, the star of the show, was a figment of my imagination. Quite bizarre, isn't it?
Yes, very bizarre. I've heard you and many other teachers talking about this, that we can't actually find it, and somehow how to say, it's like yes, okay, so I went and searched for it. I've been searching for it for a few weeks now, but I still, this whole time while I was searching, I still assumed that it was there somehow. I'm still I guess I have to admit it now, that I'm still convinced that it's just right there beneath the surface.
Yeah. So just taking it a little deeper now, you've looked, you can't find it. And that's why I was asking, has it ever been there? Has it ever actually been there? And if it's not here right now, I had to begin to look. If it's not here now when I look for it, and I looked again and again and again, and I literally did this about 100 times each day for a week. And it was just, I'm not saying you have to do that. Of course, you can if you want to, but every single time I looked, it was absent, gone. Not even gone, because gone suggests it was there and it disappeared. Just, there's nobody there. And that was just shocking and shocking and shocking. And then it began to settle into, well, it's never been there. What if I've made up my whole existence, like my whole story of someone? And at that point, it was just like somebody pulled the rug out from underneath me, and I didn't have anywhere to stand. I couldn't even go back to my old stories and be convinced of them, because I'd seen too deeply. And there was just this kind of shock for a while. This real kind of, oh my God, I've made the whole thing up. Most especially my journey to awakening, But it does begin to broaden. If it's not here now, has it ever been? Will it ever be the separate being, the someone? And in that, then there's this kind of relaxation. There's only awakening. That's all that's ever been here, the self. The self is so powerful that whatever idea it looks through, it experiences that as so real for millennia. Bodies come and go, and it imagines itself to be a someone, and it gets fascinated with phenomena. thoughts, my thoughts, then it says, my mind. And the illusion sustains itself, recreates itself, doesn't it? It keeps going. So real, seemingly, that we wouldn't even think to even look and check. All this energy goes to my problems and never to actually look at the me that's having those problems until it gets so bad. We all end up in satsang, you know. Just letting that sink in. What does it mean if it's not here right now, the separate being? What does that really mean? Has it ever been here?
Yeah. When you ask that question, what does it mean if it's not here? Then my mind immediately says, oh, that's just because you haven't searched intensely enough. You're gonna find it,
Yeah.
but you just have to search a little more, and then you'll get there somehow.
Well, have at it every which way you can. Prove to yourself every which way you can. I found a body, I found sensations, I found sense perception, thoughts, emotions. Never found anyone to whom they belong. Memories, desires, dreams, again with no author, no owner. They were just floating around in the ether. Really quite bizarre. Quite a big shock at first, but such a relief, because then I was free already and always had been. So maybe your mind's saying, you know, you just haven't looked hard enough. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you can just look and look and look and look and keep not finding and keep not finding and keep not finding. That's how it was for me. And it began to shift something inside. It's not here. Every time I look, should be able to find it if it's here.
It needs a lot of convincing, this thing.
Yes, yes and no. Yes, because we have to look and look again, but no, because every time we look and don't find it, we can't quite go back to it 100%. Something, even just in the times that we've looked here together, something has shifted. You can't quite believe in it as much as you did before you looked. Every time you look and don't find it, it's kind of shifting your identity over to there's never been any separate being. As shocking as that is, it also means that all of my karmic patterns have gone, never existed. All of my problems. Mine goes, you know, it can't be quite that easy. So you're still going to have a problem or something, you know. You just keep looking and keep not finding, and something inside is just softening and shifting as you search again, and it's still not there, this separate someone. Yes, there's a body, we're not negating that. There's emotions, there's thoughts, sense perception. But is there anybody to whom they belong, you know? And something quite profound begins to happen as you look and don't find. It's the only thing in human experience where not finding anything is the right answer, right? It's the best answer. Is something changing now as we're talking in your body?
Yes, I don't know what exactly, but it's nice.
Yeah. Because the great burden that's been upon us all, I have to reach awakening. My responsibility, me. I might get it wrong. I have to make sure my bills are paid. I have to, you know, raise my children, all of that. The self has always been doing that, right, through the body. Never been our responsibility as a separate someone. And you start to get a taste of what life is like without that heavy sense of someone doing, you've got to do, what do I do? And this final goal that we all want as a human being, which is to awaken to our true nature. With this separate someone in charge of that, I might screw it up. I might get it wrong. But if it's only the self coming to recognize itself, what could go wrong? That was enormously reassuring to me. Can't mess my awakening up. Just sitting with it, yeah, just staying with it, looking and looking and looking. Becomes quite a nice thing to do just in itself. Start to feel very peaceful. Good. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not so bad news then, really.
Say again?
Not such bad news, really.
Yeah.
Turned into something good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good to
Thank you.
talk to you.